Check the description below for the Sabotage song that relates to these events. There is not one for the first of the two events, which takes place in 1941, but there is for the second, which takes place in 42. Well, we've come to this point. As you know, in World War II, Germany was not our only enemy. We also had to deal with the Italians and the Japanese. And little known fact, the Japanese actually killed more Chinese than Hitler did Jews. And then, on the 7th of December 1941, the Empire of Japan made the biggest possible mistake, bringing the United States of America into war with them. When you attack the United States, you have it is an equivalent to committing suicide. Japanese planes bombed Pearl Harbor, an American naval base, killing a number of Americans. And because of so, the next day, Franklin D. Roosevelt asked Congress to declare war on Japan. And they did. The U.S. declared war on Japan, and Hitler declared war on the U.S. And then, sometime later, Roosevelt enacted his Europe First policy, which says, deal with Japan later, we gotta deal with Hitler now. And later, in 1940, and that's what we did. We split up our forces, half going to Europe, half going to help the Chinese, and, fight off the Japanese, but still. And, of course, the next event, the Saboteurs, the one that has the Sabotage song. Yeah, okay. I don't know much about World War II in 1942, and what I do know is very little happened. There was the Battle of Midway, which really just destroyed Japan's chances of winning without Germany. Yeah, after that, Japan became really desperately reliant on Germany, which, stretches the German forces a bit too thin. And then there's the sinking of the Bury. The Bury was a British rescue ship aided by 2 American aircraft carriers that were transporting Convoy 92, a group of merchant ships that were sunk by the German Navy. But of course, the biggest event in 1942, Hitler attempts to build a nuclear bomb in Sweden. And since Sweden was a neutral country, their royal family did nothing about it. The Swedish resistance, however, who disagreed vastly with the royal family, decided to do something about it. They destroyed the factory for the nuclear bomb, and as they were transporting barrels of heavy water to help for nuclear creation, the Swedish destroyed all the heavy water they could transport. And whatever they didn't destroy is now resting at the bottom of the sea. And because of this, no German nuclear bomb was ever created. We owe a lot to the Swedish. And in the next video, we will talk about the turning point of man's greatest conflict. Okay, well, one of the 2 turning points. The turning point in the East, okay? The turning point in the eastern half of man's greatest conflict.